as we know that the respiratory organs in our human beings is known as what? What we should call it as?
Lungs.
Lungs. Let us see how this respiration process will carried out and what is the functioning of lungs and how they are working and all. So you may observe here carefully. This is the two diagrams you may observe. When we are breathing in, how it will take place, and breathing out, how it will take place. Let us discuss in detail more clearly. You know that. You just wait. You can continue understanding. I will explain you more even clear. So as we know that the respiratory organs, the breathing organs of human beings are lungs. So it is in the lungs that the gases are exchanged, whatever it is, understanding, whatever if you take the gases, understanding, breathing in and breathing out, as we know that oxygen will be inside, it will be absorbed by our blood, and again carbon dioxide will be exchanged from the blood, understanding, which is released in the respiratory respiration process. So understanding, in the lungs that the gases are exchanged between the blood and air. Whatever the air we are taking, we are not only taking oxygen. Is it yes or no? Do you know it or not? Is it we are only taking oxygen? Please let me know.
No, sir.
No,
Sir.
I will say the percentage also. If you take the understand the oxygen, whatever the inhaling air, it contains even carbon dioxide also. Even when we're exhaling air, it contains carbon dioxide also. But the percentage and all we'll discuss in the respiration process in human beings, man, particularly in the coming session, or else if today itself. But you may remember, understand, when we are inhaling, not only we are inhaling the oxygen, also it contains some other gases also. So inside, once this oxygen, the gas which we are inhaling, which will go inside this air, so there the lungs, where a particular part called as, understanding, olive oil, which I will say that names and I will explain you. There the exchange of gases will take place. So that is why we can say lungs, where lungs are the part, are respiratory parts, where the exchange between the blood and air. So the gases exchange in the human beings will take place between the blood and air in the lungs. So the gases exchanged between the blood and air are only two. Again, what is the gases? Oxygen and carbon dioxide. Do you understand?
Carbon dioxide.
So now let us go describe the human respiratory system more in detail. But if you want to study the human respiratory system more in detail, just we need to know, understanding how this respiratory system, is carried out, how this the process of breathing is taking place. Because if you know that how the breathing is, intaking and outgoing, means like intake and expelled out the oxygen and the carbon dioxide, then only we can know what is the respiration. So that is why first the oxygen, the gas should go inside, the air should go inside, and later the carbon dioxide should come outside. So if you understand this process very well, then you can understanding what is the respiration clearly inside, and how it is taking place inside the cellular respiration. Okay, so now let us discuss. Without food and water, as we know that many days we can survive. Is it yes or no? We can live without food and water even 1 day, 2 days. We know that some people are used to live 10 days without food. Understanding? But the most important, most prominent thing in our life, if you take breathing, suppose I will say food, water and air. Which one you used to prefer first? Which you people will prefer? Because without water, at least you may survive hours. Without food, you may survive days. But without water, without air, we cannot even survive more than 10 minutes. Is it yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So that is why we should know the understanding. We'll learn the process of breathing, which is an important part of respiration. So later we'll study what is the human respiratory system in detail. So let us come to here. We will live without food and water for many days, but we cannot live for more than a few minutes. Minutes also we cannot live without air. That is the importance of air in our survival of human beings or any kind of living organisms. Because, why? Because air is what? Air is the necessary for breathing. During breathing, it is the most important one. Breathing itself will begins with air. Without air, we people cannot survive because it is very necessary for breathing. So during this breathing, we will take air into our lungs. We will our lungs through which part? Through which part?
Nose.
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 So through only we people is to take. Is it yes or no? Is there any animal who is taking? All you people are taking with the mouth? Few times, rarely we take. If you are having a problem like suffocation, like that, we will take air from mouth also. That is also. But basically, we people will take the air through the nose, and also we will expel. Again, we are expelling means we are sending out, giving out also through what? Giving out.
Nose.
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 Is it yes or no? So we will take into the air into our lungs through the nose, and also we will expel it. So the ordinary air which will take into the lungs, which contains more what? Which contains what it is? Who is more percentage? It is rich in what? Rich
Oxygen.
in what? Oxygen. Understand? That is what we can say. Understand? The rich in oxygen air. Understanding? When we are expelling out, which is rich in what? When we are expelling
Carbon
Carbon dioxide.
dioxide. You please involve in the class. Understand? So when we will intake, understand? We will take into the air, into the lungs, which is rich in oxygen, but the air which is expelled from the lungs, when we are intaking, understand, which is rich in oxygen and which is expelled from the lungs, which is rich in what? Which is rich
Carbon
in
dioxide.
carbon dioxide. So from that understanding, we can define what is breathing. Now you can say, I have told you, when we are taking the air which we are taking into the lungs, which is rich in oxygen, and which we are expelled, which is rich in carbon dioxide. Now from this, please, from somebody from you, please form the definition of breathing. Anybody? Not the respiration. Respiration we know. Breathing I am asking. Can anybody say what is the definition of breathing? Please. Now you understand correct which is rich in oxygen and which is rich in carbon dioxide. Just form a definition. Breathing is the process. Dina, Pranav.
Inhaling and
Normally, breathing is the
exhaling
process.
of
Oxygen and exhaling of carbon dioxide.
carbon
The
dioxide.
process by which what? Air rich in oxygen is taking inside by the body, taking inside by the body. And what is happening? The air rich in carbon dioxide is
Exhale.
expelled. Expelled means what? Giving outside. Understanding? Giving out. Giving out is only called as, understand? Expelled or expelling is only called as respiration. Sorry, is only known as breathing. So,
Breathing.
understand? With the help of whom? Who is helping to take this rich in oxygen and sending this rich in carbon dioxide? Who is helping? Breathing.
Lungs.
Lungs.
Breathing
Lungs.
organ.
Who is to called as
Breathing.
lungs. Is it yes or no?
Lungs. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that is what. So all of you write the question. Define breathing. Define breathing. Define breathing. Or else you can write, keep heading. Breathing. Because you must know, for one mark question, so many times you used to ask. But everybody will, they will write. Taking oxygen and giving out a carbon dioxide is known as what? Breathing. Is it yes or no? It is what the simple definition which we will write. Correct?
Yes, sir.
That is one. So, but it is not. It should be a proper. Write it. Breathing is the process. Breathing is the process. Breathing is the
Do not
process.
see the screen, sir.
Breathing is the process by which rich in water, air rich in
Air rich in oxygen.
Oxygen.
oxygen, air rich in oxygen is taken inside, air rich in oxygen is taken inside the body,
Can you say from first?
yeah. Breathing is the process by which air rich in oxygen is taken by the body, of an organism, and Air rich in and air rich in. Again what? Air rich in? Air rich in carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide. Air rich in carbon dioxide is expelled from the body. Is expelled from the body. Is expelled from the body with the help of whom? With the help of? With the help of breathing organs. With the help of breathing organs is known as what, Amma?
Lungs.
Is known as lungs.
Breathing.
This process is known as breathing.
Breathing.
You understanding?
Yes.
Any doubt? Please ask me.
Alright.
So that is what we should call as breathing, and which will be carried out understanding this exchange of gases, oxygen rich in air and carbon dioxide rich in means carbon dioxide rich in air. Both will be intaking and giving out. Only will takes place with the help of breathing organs called as lungs. So now let us discuss. Understand. So as we know this, the taking in understanding in of air which is rich in oxygen into the blood during breathing. Understanding during breathing, which we used to call as inhalation. What we should call?
Inhalation.
Inhalation.
Inhalation. Understanding taking the rich in oxygen blood, understand, rich in oxygen air into the understanding our respiratory organs is only called as inhalation. And again sending out the carbon dioxide rich in air, understanding carbon dioxide rich air,
Exhalation.
carbon dioxide
Exhalation.
is only called as exhalation.
Exhalation.
Exhalation. Inhalation. And as well as we used to call it as what? Exhalation.
Exhalation.
This is what? Taking off oxygen rich in air. Air rich in what? Air rich in
Rich in oxygen.
understanding called as inhalation, taking inside, and exhalation, air rich in
Sending out the
Carbon
air
dioxide.
with carbon dioxide.
carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide. So please all of you write, note down the definitions of inhalation and exhalation. Right. First, inhalation. Can I say?
Yes.
Yes.
The taking in of air, rich in oxygen. The taking in of air rich in oxygen. Rich in oxygen into the body during breathing is known as inhalation. And same way exhalation, you can write your own definition. What is exhalation?
The
Taking
taking out of
air, rich
rich
of
in
carbon dioxide.
carbon dioxide
The body.
Giving out,
Outside the
not
body.
taking out.
outside the
Understand?
body
The
during
giving
breathing
out,
is known as
the air rich in carbon dioxide. The giving out also we can call it as what? The giving
Sending
out.
out.
Expelling, understanding, giving out, or also we can
Expelling.
call it as expelling, understanding means kicking outside. The giving out of air, rich in what? Out of air,
carbon dioxide.
out of air, rich in
Carbon dioxide.
carbon dioxide, rich in carbon dioxide. Understand? Into the body or out from the body?
Out from the
Carbon
body.
dioxide.
Out. From the body.
Out from the body, understanding, out from the body is called exhalation, or else just you can write rich in carbon dioxide is called, already we are writing given out, so not required. Given out of air rich in carbon dioxide is called is called
Exhalation.
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 Do you understanding all of you? Write it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now, let us discuss this process. Understand. So now, more in detail we'll go so that we can understand more. So as we know that both inhalation and exhalation takes place regularly during breathing. Is it yes or no? Is it anybody who is only taking inhalation? Is it anybody who is taking only exhalation? No. Is it yes or no? So when we are carrying the breathing, whenever the breathing process is carried out, then during this breathing, both inhalation and exhalation will take place. Is it yes or no? So one time inhalation will take place and immediately what will take place? Immediately what will take place? Exhalation. Correct or not? At a time, it is not possible to take inhalation continuously, and also it is not possible to sending out the carbon dioxide, because if we send the oxygen inside, then only the respiration process will carried out. Then only the exhalation, understand, will come out. So that is why I can say a breath means. What is the simple definition of breath? Anybody? Just somebody will ask you. What is the simple definition of breath? What is the simple definition of breath? Breath contains two things, Ray. One is inhalation and one is exhalation. So if somebody asks what is breath, what you people will say?
Inhaling of oxygen and exhaling of carbon dioxide.
Plus one exhalation. That is correct or not? Yes or no? So a breath means I can say, somebody will ask breath means I can say one inhalation and plus what is happening? Plus one
Exhalation.
exhalation. So that is the simple definition of breathe. Define breathe. If they will ask you, we can write even this is enough for 1 mark also. Inhaling and exhaling of oxygen and carbon dioxide respectively. Okay, then. So that is breathe means just I can say one inhalation and one exhalation. Inhalation itself is indicating taking out oxygen rich in air, and exhalation is indicating taking and giving out what?
Carbon dioxide.
Rich in carbon dioxide. That's all. So now let us discuss. We know that air contains oxygen. So when we breathe in air, it is actually what is happening. The oxygen gas which is present in air, which is utilized by our body, for what purpose, Ra? For what purpose? Utilized by our body for what purpose? To break down food.
To break down food.
To produce energy.
Energy.
Do you understand? So when we breathe in, air to supply oxygen to the cells of our body, to break down the food, understand, to release energy. So when we are breathing out, it is removing the waste product known as, what is that waste product? Harmful product, toxic substance. Carbon dioxide from our body, which is produced, understanding, during the breakdown of food in the cells, like a byproduct in respiration. So that is why I can say breathing is a continuous process which goes on all the time throughout our life. Is it yes or no? Is it any animal? Is there anybody, human being, who cannot carry out the breathing? Don't say some fellows are those who are living in Himalayas and all, some monks and all, they will live 5 hours, 1 hour, 51. That is maybe, I don't know how it is happening also. I also don't know. Understand? But basically, when you are time of birth to the time of death, so this respiration process must be carried out throughout our life. Is it yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, all of you? Will you agree with that or
Yes,
not?
sir.
Yes. So now, if you want to understand the respiratory system of human, let us discuss understanding for the last concept of this today's class, that is how this mechanism of breathing is working. Sir, you are saying oxygen is going inside, carbon dioxide is coming outside, which has been carried out throughout our life, understanding, which has been done by the respiratory organs called as lungs and all. How it is happening? We need to know the mechanism of breathing. That is what we will learn now. So all of you please keep heading. This is the most important, like a heart of the respiratory organs, understand, respiratory system. That is what we can say. Mechanism of understanding respiratory. All of you please keep heading. What you should keep? Mechanism of breathing. Write it, all of you. Mechanism of breathing. This is what we can say. Very important. mechanism of breathing or else principle, mechanism of breathing. So if you'll understand this, then you can easily understand anything in this. Remember this mechanism of breathing. So just wait a minute. This picture has been disturbed, so I will adjust that. So later we can continue. So as we know that, you tell me what is the mechanism? What is the mechanism? You people know. Please tell me. Please let me know what is the mechanism which you know.
Inhalation and exhalation.
Inhalation and exhalation. How it is happening? Anybody? Any idea regarding these lungs and all? Have you noticed it when you are observing? Suppose somebody is sleeping.
Contraction and expansion.
Somebody is sleeping in our home. Just imagine. Understand? So you may observe carefully. Their chest is trying to coming up and going down. Have you noticed it? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Please let me know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Why it is happening? What is happening? Why when the chest is, we can see that the chest will increases and again the chest will decreases when we are breathing and when we are, means the breathing process is carried out. This is what we used to observe carefully, normally. So what is happening? Can you able to say? Please.
Contraction and relaxation of lungs.
What?
Muscles of lungs will contract, and relax.
Yeah. So that is what will happen. So let us discuss understanding. So this is not going out. So okay, mechanism of breathing. So let us understand this picture only. So try to observe very carefully, all of you. So mechanism of breathing is the most important and is like the most important thing for understanding for the respiratory system of our human beings. Somebody is having doubt, I think. Wait. Inhaling and exhaling. Okay, then. So let us discuss this mechanism of breathing more in detail so that you may understand more easily. So as we know that, just now we will learn how air from outside is sucked into our lungs during inhaling. Breathing in, the oxygen will go inside, and how air from understanding our lungs is pushed out during exhaling. Exhaling means breathing outside. Breathing in, inhaling, and breathing out, we used to call it as what? What we should call?
Breathing out is
Inhaling means breathing in, and exhaling means breathing out. Is it yes or no? Inhaling, breathing in is only we used to call it as inhaling, and breathing out, which we used to call it as what?
exhalation.
Is it yes or no? So this is what we should call as how we can take. We have studied just now. So how the oxygen is going inside and how the oxygen is coming outside, which we used to call as inhaling and exhaling. So the process of breathing takes place completely inside our lungs. We have a system called as respiratory system called as lungs. So there the complete process of breathing takes place in our lungs only. So lungs, which we have a special part, understanding, which we used to known as alveoli, understanding where the where the exchange of gases will take place, means the from the air to the blood and the blood to the air, where the oxygen and carbon dioxide will exchange. So if you observe here, this complete process of breathing takes place in our lungs. So lungs are connected to our understanding. Something we have two holes here. What is that holes called as? Anybody? What is that holes called as? Any idea? Hole in the nose. This nose we have two holes, which we used to call as
Nostrils.
understand?
Nostrils.
What we should call
Nostrils.
Everybody is having this, correct or not? So nostrils.
Yes, sir.
Understand? So our lungs are connected to these nostrils only. So these lungs, understand? So when we are inhaling the oxygen, remember. So whatever the lungs are present, the lungs are connected to our nostrils. Means what is the nostrils, Ra? The holes in the nose. The holes. Everybody is having two holes, correct or not?
Yes, sir.
These holes in the nose is only called as nostrils, and this nostrils is connected to somewhere. Here the lungs are present and here the nostrils are present. Somewhere mid two more parts is present. Can anybody know that? Nasal
Windpipe.
passage. Do you know
Windpipe.
nasal passage?
Yes.
Nasal passage, and also we know if we touch here, we have something like pipe. What is that pipe called as?
Which pipe?
What is that pipe called?
Trachea.
Pipe.
Also we can call
pipe.
as.
Trachea.
So we have a nostrils, and the nostrils next what is happening?
Esophagus.
Nasal passage. Understanding? Nasal passage. So also next nasal passage
Esophagus.
as what?
Esophagus.
All of you. We have what?
Windpipe.
Windpipe.
Understanding, Amma? So we have a windpipe. So nasal passage also we can call with another name. Can you able to say what is that?
Esophagus.
Passage. Also
Esophagus.
what?
Esophagus.
Nasal cavity. That is what we used to call as esophagus. Very good. Understanding? So that is in food, not here. But in respiratory system, you should not use esophagus. Understanding, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Nasal
Yes, sir.
passage also we can call as nasal cavity.
Cavity.
Cavity, and later it has been connected to the windpipe. Correct or not? So our lungs
Yes, sir.
are connected to our nose. Our nose means nostrils through the
Nostrils.
and windpipe. So who is connecting our nostrils and lungs? Nasal passage and windpipe. Correct or not?
Windpipe.
When
Yes, sir.
we inhale air, it enters into air. It enters into air. It will enter into where? It will enter into nostrils. That is what.
Nostrils.
Is it directly going to the lungs? Is it going to the lungs directly?
No, sir.
Correct? So when we inhale, understanding, when we inhale air, it enters into our nostrils and it will pass us through the nasal passage and windpipe, and finally it will reach us to where? Reaches to our
Lungs.
lungs. That is what the system of intaking oxygen. Understand? So inhaling is the process where when we'll take the air, inhale air, it is enters into our understanding holes in the nose called as nostrils, passes through the nasal passage and windpipe, and finally it will reach us to our lungs. So
Lungs.
we have how many lungs? How many lungs we have? We have how many lungs? In the picture you can observe how many lungs we have.
Two.
Two lungs. Is there anyone who is having only one lung or more than one lung? So in this picture you may observe here. This is what we have. In the even previous picture also I have shown you. Here how many lungs you have? Observe carefully. How many lungs we have?
Yes, sir.
This is
Sir.
and this is the another lung. Is it yes or no? And this is only we
Yes,
should
sir.
call as what? This is what we should call as windpipe. What we should call?
Windpipe.
Windpipe.
Pipe. Do you understanding all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? So now
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
more in detail. Understand? So as we know, we have a two lungs. So once this air will be reaches our lungs. So our two lungs, what is this lungs? Understand? Our two lungs are they're just like hanging in airtight space in our body, which we used to call as chest cavity. Is it yes or no? Is it they have been settled anywhere? They have not been settled. Have you noticed it? They are just hanging inside this rib cage, or else we used to call as chest cavity. Is it yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Just they are hanging like balloons. Two balloons if will hang for a single thread. Understand? And how they will hang in the same way, they are just hanging inside our chest cavity. Is it yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So understanding they are just present in our body, which we used to call as chest cavity. So around the sides of the chest cavity, we have something which we used to call as with the bones it is made up of. That is only we used to call it as what? What we should call? What we should call? What we should call that?
Cage.
Rib cage. Understanding? So inside this rib cage, you may observe this pink color one. That is only we used to call it as what? What we should call it as?
Diaphragm.
What we should call? Pink one, not diaphragm. Pink one I am asking. Pink one is only called as lungs. Is it yes or no?
Lungs. Yes, sir.
That
Yes,
is
sir,
what
yes.
I am asking. Understanding? So we have a pink color one here observing. That is what we should call as understanding lungs, which are just hanging inside this chest cavity, which has been covered by our ribs. Understanding? So that is only we should call as what we should call rib cage. Understanding that? Rib cage. Do you understand all of you? Any doubt, anything in this? Ask me. Correct? So As we know that around the sides of our chest cavity, there is a rib cage with the sheets of muscles between the ribs. Remember, this ribs, not only the bones is present. So people will say, rib is made up of, understanding, only bones. So between these ribs, somebody is there. What is that? What is that? Called as muscles. What we should call?
Muscles.
Muscles. Sheets of muscles are present. So, sir, what is the use of these muscles means? We have an importance. For exhaling, inhaling, our chest will expand and will contract. Is it yes or no? When the relaxing state and when it's in contraction state. So we have a helpful of who is helping in this contraction and relaxation of chest. Understand? Because of whom? Because of this muscles only. Do you understanding, all of you? Understand? Because muscles are the flexible material. Is it yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That is the reason. So we have a chest understanding. We have a chest cavity where these lungs are just hanging in the airtight space. So around that we have a rib cage. So which is understanding with the sheets of muscles between the rib. Means rib to rib we have a muscles between them. So this rib cage encloses the lungs. Understanding completely in it. You can observe in the picture. Understand? So lungs are completely covered by a rib cage. Is it yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is what the first one breathing in and the second one is breathing out. But you just observe in the both the cases where the lungs are present, they're completely covered by the rib cage. Is it yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So now let us discuss breathing in and breathing out. Understanding how this process will observe. So at the bottom of the chest we have understanding chest cavity is a curved sheet of muscle which we used to call diaphragm. Can you able to see the diaphragm here? Some kind of a curved
Yes,
one.
sir.
So which is just below the rib cage. We have something called as, what is this called as?
Diaphragm.
Diaphragm. Understand? So this is only always moves upwards and downwards, which will help us to understand breathing. So this is the part you can observe here. This is the part which we used to call as what? This yellow color part. What we should call, Ra? What we should call?
Diaphragm.
Diaphragm. So here you can see it went upside and here it came down. That is why we can able to see it clearly. So that is what we should call as diaphragm. Now, shall we study what is inhaling, breathing in and breathing out clearly?
Yes, sir.
So now,
Yes, sir.
so let us discuss the first diagram in this picture. So breathing involves totally the movement of rib cage and the diaphragm. Always you should remember. So breathing involves not only just inhaling. Sir, I am taking the gas and I am sending the gas outside. Not it is. It will happen only when the two parts will movement. Understanding? When two parts will start moving, then only that breathing will take place. So that is why I can say breathing involves the movements of the rib cage and the diaphragm. It will involve what? Movements of the
Rib
Rib
cage and
cage
the
and the
diaphragm.
diaphragm.
diaphragm. So Vaira, can you able to say here? So rib cage, between them we have a sheets of something material. That what we should call as? What we should call as?
Muscles.
Muscles.
Called as muscles. And we have a something which is present below the rib cavity. Understanding? Chest.
Diaphragm.
That is we used to call as diaphragm.
Diaphragm.
This muscles and this diaphragm, both the movement of in the breathing, both this movement of muscles and diaphragm is involved. So without the movement of this muscles and diaphragm, understand, there is no breathing in and breathing out. So that is why I can say breathing involves the movements of the rib cage and the diaphragm. Understanding, all of you? That point you should write it. So breathing involves what? Breathing involves
Movement of
movement of rib cage
And diaphragm.
and
diaphragm.
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 Cage and diaphragm. Diaphragm. Understanding that? So this is what we used to call as mechanism of breathing. It has not been started. So we'll study what is breathing in and what is breathing out. So now first you can keep heading. Understanding the first process which we used to call as breathing process. What we used to call? It has been two processes. One is
Breathing
breathing breathe out. Understand? So two things, movement, just both are involved just because of movements of the rib cage and as well as diaphragm. So
Yep.
first one we will study breathe in. What we should call?
Breathing.
Breathe in. This is what the first process which has been observed in this picture, diaphragm and movement. So anyhow, it is already much time is over. So from here we'll continue tomorrow. Is it okay? Ra?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Once you will understand this
Thank you, sir.
mechanism, then we can study understanding what is the respiratory system in human very clearly. So if you understand that, then this part, the respiration process part will be over. So from the next class and means coming classes, we will study transportation. Is it okay, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So with this, I will stop. So thank you, everyone. I hope you understand very well. Is it okay? Clear? Everything? Anybody?
Yes,
Please.
sir.
sir.
Understood, sir.
Sir.
Understood, sir.
I
Understood.
received one or two messages from you, means from you people. So something is like a second chapter is started, and sir, we are facing lot of. I am not at all understand anything. Like control and what is that system chapter name? Control and coordination. Correct.
Control and coordination.
Coordination.
Control and coordination.
I think it has, but you remember that is like what we can say highest weighted subject for the NEET exam, control and coordination, which is involves our heart pumping system and all. So which is a major part of our blood, our human system. So which has been having highest priority, even NEET and wherever you'll go towards the medicine side. So which is a highest weightage in all the exams. So that chapter is even most important, which we'll study very in detail. You no need to worry about anything. Understanding? So I will explain you very clearly with the diagrams and even animated videos also I will try to make it understanding. I will try to show you. So for better understanding if it is needed. But the thing is, you have to study more and more. From your side, the dedication should be. I need to expect that much. Do you understand? So that you have to do.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I will stop with that. Tomorrow we'll continue from here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, sir,
Yeah. Yeah.
sir, the diagram you can send in group, sir.
I will send. I will send. I will send. I will send you. Don't worry. Karthikeyan, do you understand Karthikeyan? Bayram school.
Yes, sir.
Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dina. Everybody. Thank you, Kevin. You can leave. You can leave and you can relax 2 minutes and you can start your works. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Ashika, Anusri, Akhil Arfan.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Varshini.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.